everybody's on. Put me in, coach. Put me in, coach. Put me in, coach. Put me in, coach. Hey, put me in the game. You know that it's on. We gon' talk about the topics that everybody's on. Put me in, coach.
Yo. It's another episode of Put Me In Coach Podcast. I am your host, Big Play Ray. You know, I got Coach Boyd with me and Coach T. So we just back for another episode to talk about sports, community, and really anything y'all want to talk about. Make sure you drop the comments, share. Make sure you support to stay up to date with what's coming next with Put Me In Coach Podcast. All right, so we just want to start off, just kind of check on everybody, how their weekend been going, boy. You been on the grill? What's going on?
Yeah, man. I got on the grill a little bit. I ain't get on as much as I wanted to, man, because I was out. Had to do some man duties, man. Had to work on some stuff. So, but I did get on that grill a little bit, man. What you did?
No, I just went to everybody else's grill. We had a little family reunion with my wife, so we went over there first. And I stopped by my cousin's house, and then we all came back. They had that big fireworks showing for sight, so that was really nice. That was real nice. Coach T, what you doing? Fireworks?
Hey, I went down to the country. I went down to Georgetown with my dad's side of the family. They were all in one spot, so I ain't have to house hop. Sat outside, sweated a little bit in front of the fan, and kid lit up fireworks, you know. But other than that, that was everything.
Who had the baked beans? Ain't nobody had no baked bean down there in Baldwin?
Yeah, we had baked beans, turkey wing. We had everything. Pasta salad.
That pasta too. Man, that pasta. Val made me pasta. Yeah, boy.
They probably said, shout my cousin Bruce. They pasta salad yesterday. Should have snuck me a plate.
Hey, anytime, most of the time, I ain't getting on yesterday. She kind of was, you know, laid back a little bit yesterday. So most of the time, man, when I get that grill smoking, man, she'll have some pasta salad in here. I ain't getting on this weekend though.
Oh,
well, you got in-house pasta salad. You get pasta salad. You get ready, boy.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Boy, don't be trying to get us in. Don't be trying to get us caught between you and Val, man. She be like, don't be talking about me on the podcast. But it's good, man. I'm glad to hear everybody had a good weekend. And then I think it's just coming off Dead Week. How many of y'all think these kids been working on Dead Week or what they been doing?
I ain't gonna lie to you. I hope not. Sometimes, especially like for my kids, this is the only break he get in a year. So, yeah, sometimes, you know, the best thing is to take a break from it. And that's what we did. You know, he did go outside and do their own little thing, running or whatever, jump roping and stuff, but not too much. So, I'm glad for that.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
If we didn't have that, we probably won't stop.
Oh no, he's a machine. We know he all business. So, but that transition right into kind of one of our main topics. This week we're going to focus on high school sports. There's been a lot of different rule changes that may affect you or your student athlete. So we kind of want to jump right into that. And I'm going to start off with you, Boyd. So is the transfer portal culture trickling down to the high school?
Yeah, sort of. Because you got kids that, you know, they're not staying put no more. They trying to go to the best situation they see fit or whatever their parents see fit. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's the same, even though we don't have a transfer portal in high school, but that's pretty much the same. You know what I'm saying? If they don't like what's going on this, you know, in this situation, whether it be they're not playing enough or, you know, they don't like certain stuff that coaches are doing, they got the opportunity to go other places.
So, Coach T, how do you feel like the transfer portal culture is trickling down to the high school?
Yeah, because it's like boy said, it kind of becoming a trend, you know, in high school too. And like he said, for good and bad reasons, you know what I'm saying? Like you got families and athletes that are seeking, you know, more playing time, exposure, coaching, and then just going to schools, you know what I'm saying? The state teams, for competitive teams.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of shift the stability of teams. You never know what teams gonna look like year to year. And recruitment dynamics, all these things are starting to get into the conversation, and it started to get messy. So yeah, that is definitely trickling down into the high school level. And it definitely affect high school sports.
So Coach, what I wanted to ask you too. With that, so it's really just best to have that next man up mentality, right?
Oh yeah.
Just because of those situations.
Well, you also have to you got to make sure too you give your younger players they just do your JV teams because they got to be ready at any moment, like you said, to step up and step into those roles because you really do not know what these teams will look like year after year, and it don't seem like they have a grip on it. I'm talking about the governing bodies. It don't seem like there's a grip on it. There's some platforms that show where kids going year to year. And it just ain't no way that, it ain't some things going on. It seems to be a little bit more prevalent in different areas of Georgia than others. Some it's saying they able to get away with it. Some, they watch closely. And then you just have, where you have people reporting people for, various reasons or whatever. But it's not the where I think Coach Boy, you talked about last week, you stayed where you were regardless growing up. And you just had to stick through, good, bad, or ugly. So
I think it definitely has trickled down, especially when you have kids making announcements. I mean, it happens. Kids move, parents move kids because they feel like it's best for them. I'm not against you doing anything you think is going to help your child. I just hope that everyone has a circle of people around them to advise them, not just one opinion. Ask multiple people, questions or just doing things decent and in order. I believe in that.
Yeah.
In life and in sports, it's doing things the right way. Because if you don't do it the right way, of course, it can negatively impact your kid. And like you said, it sets them up for failure because now they're not willing to deal with adversity or they're running from hard work. And you never want that to be the reason. So do we think that high school athletes, and I'm starting with you, Coach T, should high school athletes be allowed unlimited transfers? How do you feel about that?
I want to piggyback on something you just said, right? Then I'll go into that. I also don't think that it's right for a coach to become mad if a player, is not satisfied with their program and would like to go to another school because truthfully that player and their parents are really trying, going to make your program, your life miserable. So if they're not happy with what you're doing and what you can give, like, allow them to go, but I don't think it comes to a point where they should be jeopardized and lose years of eligibility. I mean, a high school season is already short-lived, so they start getting into like your own personal vendettas and ego when you start doing that, and it don't become about the kid,
right?
But yes, sir. Boy, you want to say something before I answer the next question that Coach Ray asked?
No, ma'am. You good? Go ahead. I'm just agreeing with you. I wholeheartedly agree.
Okay, and so you said, should high school athletes be allowed unlimited transfer? If they're not going to get a real grip on it, be fair across the board, I say yes and no. I think it should be some parameters on it. Maybe, we know what eligibility look like coming into freshman year, but maybe it could be something written into boards of education and districts about maybe senior year. Kids getting to do one move. To go to the high school of their choice or whatever, like with some type of, like you said, parameters. But like I said again, letting them do it unlimited, all it's gonna do is gonna start to create again that competitive balance. It's gonna be academic. I'm sure it's gonna be some academic hiccups there. Some credits gonna get misaligned or missed. Then gonna give kids that the opportunity to build that cohesion and stuff, and which is very important while they're young and in that part of their overall development. I think if they do move though, it should be for legitimate reasons, kind of what they do now. If your family or relocate, if it's a safety issue, for educational purposes, I think those are very legitimate reasons to be able to transfer. But just for roster building and just recruiting or a kid not happy, on some entitlement stuff, no.
All right. Well, How about this? Do you think that team loyalty is disappearing? I'm gonna start with you, boy. Is team loyalty disappearing?
Yeah. In most cases it is. But it depends on a lot of times, like programs too, because some programs, man, they're loyal to that program because they feel like it's helping them. You know what I'm saying? So I just think that it in some cases you got loyalty, and in other cases loyalty has an expiration date. You know what I'm saying? So I think that it's about, well, I can't say that the disloyal is probably a little bit more than loyal, but like I said, it depends on what situation they're in. When you got, these programs like how Coach T got, the culture that she has, a lot of people are loyal to that culture. You're not gonna get that culture everywhere else. But you got other situations where, like she said, you got coaches that work is all about them. So I mean, if it's about them, then they ain't being loyal to the kids. How are we gonna think the kids and the parents gonna be loyal to us? You know what I'm saying? Some of us get caught in the crossfire for that.
Mm-hmm.
What you think, Coach C? How do you feel about loyalty to a program? Or let's break this down. What do you think a program should provide to student athletes and parents, where in return they should provide their loyalty? Okay. Let's talk about that.
The upfront truth, clear, concise communication, and that's consistently, because, like I said, when everyone comes into our program, we have a meeting separately for the freshman parent, because they're new to everything, and we don't need to see them the first time with everybody, with everybody and their concerns. And I'm talking about my upperclassmen, because they have a different need. Everyone has a different need. Everyone, some people are already in the program, and so you need to make sure that as the people, the new people that are coming in, you need to make sure that you're clear about your program. And so as you have those hiccups and things, it doesn't necessarily tear down, the thing that you put so hard into building your team culture. As far as their academic success and everything that you can help them throughout the school day, and being clear on just everything. I think clarity, that kills a lot of stuff, and then it also helps you when you get ready to come to the table to have those difficult conversations, because the hard conversations are going to come up. There are going to be some misunderstandings and everything, but I think if you keep the conversation open and make them comfortable enough to come, I think everything, eventually works itself out. I'm getting distracted. Coach P down there to my what's up, peeps.
Going on, Plum?
Excuse me. I think emphasize culture in a relationship though, to help preserve that loyalty. You know what I'm saying? It'll help preserve it, but I do think like loyalty can be shaken by outside factors. Sometimes it could be parents. Sometimes it could be like Coach Boyd mentioned, people who are into their egos. Like, it could come from an AAU coach. It could come from a family member. Any type of external influence, it can kind of shake their loyalty, and have the kid in limbo. I hate that. I hate when people put kids and feel like they have to choose. Excuse me, my motion sensor light keep moving. So
it's all good, and I agree with that. You definitely don't want kids to be in the middle of things. I think, when kids do reach a certain age, since it affects them, certain conversations have to be had, because that might be their first experience or something they're going to experience in the workforce after basketball, right? Mm-hmm. Because you have to learn how to work with others, and you have to learn how to work within rules, and you have to learn how to maneuver things you don't agree with. And I think that's a big, big opportunity for us to prepare kids for. Working in the workforce, dealing with HR, a lot of people just really don't know how to have those hard conversations, or sometimes making a decision that might not be something they want to do, but it's something that they need to do. So this may be that first shot at that, because it's going to happen again, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna get in college, you're gonna reach some adversity, or you're gonna get to college, you may not like this coach's approach.
Yeah.
But you can't always run away. Can't always transfer. So you just have to figure it out. So how much influence? So we'll start with this one, boy. How much influence should trainers have compared to coaches? Where do trainers, from an influence standpoint, or I guess from a advice standpoint, trainers, coaches, how do they balance each other?
I guess it depends on who the trainer is. You know what I'm saying? Because I know some trainers like Coach Q, you know, he come and do his thing with a pure heart. You know what I'm saying? And he's training them to get better, not influencing them to do what you know. He trained them to play within whatever's going on with the system they're playing in. But then you got other trainers that I've actually seen one. I can't remember what was going on when. I want to say it was something y'all was having at Central, Coach. I don't know if it was I can't remember what it was, but somebody was playing. It wasn't Central though. Some kind of tournament or something. And I remember sitting there and watching, hearing a trainer behind me telling a kid what to do in the game. I think that's a no-no. Trainer should be kind of like the parent. You know what I'm saying? If they wasn't doing something, you talk to them after the game and tell them, hey, why you wasn't doing this and doing that? You know, talking to them during the game, man, that's kind of crazy. But like I said, you got some trainers that come and watch and, hey, and some of them do it with a pure heart.
Yeah, that may be an extension of that bench. So I think that's a communication thing, boy. I think knowing that you have that permission from the coach is a big thing. Mm-hmm. Right? If you have that relationship with the coach, because it takes a village. Sometimes it takes 3-4 different people, trainer, parent, coach, the whole nine, to reach a kid and make him reach his full potential. But if at all possible, I think once a game starts, everything should go towards the coach.
Right. So it should never be a trainer coaching the kid while the kid is playing.
Correct. Or making that kid feel they have to choose who to listen to.
Right. So it should never be. I don't never think it'll be a situation like that. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to communication, I think the best thing to do, like I've seen most people, I know Coach Q is a coach, but I know he's one of the trainers that I know. And I always see him sitting up in a corner by himself looking. And there's a lot of kids that he trained. And I'm pretty sure if he need to tell them something, he'll tell them when the game's done. Same way a parent should be. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's good or bad, some stuff encouraging your kid is different. But when you go to yelling and coaching, there's something totally different. You know what I'm saying? So they got to know everybody got a place. When that game started, that's the coach job.
I think. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I appreciate the trainers. You know what I'm saying? Because they take a lot of us coaches, being in the gym and putting that time into kids and stuff. But we definitely should compliment each other though. Like you said, Coach Ray, we should be communicators, and if you're training my kid, you care for the kid within the system of the program, the flow of the program. I would like for you to talk to me about what are some things that you see, some areas of weaknesses that they need to work on. And then like you brought up Coach Q, for example, like he'll sit back and watch a player, and I just know this from firsthand because he had worked with a lot of my players, and see, some things that maybe we need to go back into the lab, that's what they call it, and work on this left hand, because I see you don't want to use your left hand in the game, or we need to go do this. So I think, like you said, if you're not encouraging, or if you're trying to tell them the opposite of what the coach saying versus maybe even, I don't even mind them saying, use your left hand, work on your left hand, what we working on in the lab or training on, I don't even mind that. But like what you were saying, like telling the opposite of what the coach saying or what's going on, like this kind of, counterproductive.
I think that's encouraging when you tell them, hey, use your left hand. I think that's different from use your left hand and hey, take them, shoot the ball. You see what I'm saying? Now we got a problem because you don't know what's going on or what we talked about all that stuff. So, but yeah, I think that work. I think like you said, the communication. But most of the time, I just feel like if we had one, I see what Mona just said. So most trainers come to the game and take notes for the next session without saying a word. I think that's pretty much how it should be. But that's just me. That's just my opinion. We got a few more. Personally, I don't like my parents looking to the crowd to do something. Anybody in the crowd tell them to do. Yep. That's
no, don't cut that conversation off. He said, if I catch my player listening to somebody in the crowd, they're going to earn a seat next to me. And I think that's the old school approach that most coaches take. I know from my standpoint, being a parent, training my nephews, or even with the AAU team I have with my daughter now, you really have to just buy into what they're going to be a part of. Shout out to Coach Tad and the All-Stars. And then the plays that we ran when we were the Middle Georgia Storm, I got them from the high school coach. Because there's no need of us going against each other. So I literally ran his plays during the summer because I knew that they were going to have to run those plays during the year. And then, I went to enough of the games when they were playing with Tat and them, I could see when they are supposed to shoot. So now I'm not on the sideline just feeling like, oh, they didn't shoot the ball. You know what I'm saying? Or I can see, what they did wrong on defense, what they were supposed to do on offense, because I was there enough. Unfortunately, if time doesn't permit you, or you're just one of those parents who don't like to come to a lot of the games, you probably need to be quiet. And that's not respectful. We all about respect and Put Me in Coach podcast, but you have to earn that type of relationship, or it's just going to cause issues. And you probably don't even mean no harm. You think you're helping your child out, but if you don't know enough about what they're supposed to do, you're really, really going to cause them issues on the court if your message is not aligned with the coach's message. So that's my feedback coming from the parent side.
Right. And when you do that, I've have a lot of conversations with some of my girls about it. Like, as a coach, I would never want my kid to have to choose between listening to their parent and listening to me. So you got to go home with your parents. So again, when we started doing that, we started to create that limbo again. So you start pulling that kid in different directions, and then that just creating all these, anxiety and stuff. Now you don't want to do that.
But that's why you have your meetings. You get in front of stuff. See, that's what communication come in at. You have your meetings. You do this and do that. Hey, this is what we looking for. That's something that I got from y'all too. If it's something that I don't like, something that happened the season before or something like that, I will talk about it, and we'll talk to the parents and say, hey, this is what we're looking for. This is the standard. Hey, y'all try to kind of, we got the coaches. Y'all let us coach. I ain't saying, not encourage them. I'm not saying, especially if you know what you're saying, know what you're talking about. I ain't gonna say not to say nothing, but I don't need you running plays and bringing plays there and telling them what to do this and to do that. So the encouraging part can always stay there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
All right. So how do we feel about, because we're still focusing on high school sports. If you're just chiming in, this is Put Me in Coach podcast. Drop comments, any feedback. We're communicating back and forth. But how do we feel about, the lights don't went off on Coach T again. So are camps and showcases worth the money? Are camps and showcases worth the money? What you think, Coach Boyd?
Again, in certain cases, a lot of times these days, man, it's about money, but in a lot of cases, man, it ain't about what you got. It's about who you know too. If you got the right relationships with the right people, then you might be all right. You know what I'm saying? So it just depends. Like I said, it's all about the situation, and it's all about if the parents are being honest with themselves about stuff. Because it will get expensive if you ain't being honest about your child. What's it gonna be?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But then it might be somebody else that may feel like, hey, this was worth it. You know what I'm saying? Because their child might have came out in it, because it's all about being honest with yourself and with, you know, about who your kid is. You know, and that development is going.
Coach T, what you think? Are camps and showcases worth the money?
Man, so let's talk about the difference between the camp and the showcase, because I don't think that clicks among some of the student athletes. Sometimes I use my son for the example, like when you go into a camp or so and you trying to hone on to that skill development, like Coach Boyd said, you just kind of want to choose those carefully and just try to stay, you know, in an affordable range. And then those showcases, you got to know that's what it is, a showcase. Like, you can't go in there trying to play ball the right way. It ain't no team ball. It's all men for themselves. So I ain't gonna lie, I'm not a huge fan of showcases. But they can be a great job if you can go in there and you can showcase. Like, you need to know exactly what you're going in there for, you know. And because you are investing, you know, you are putting money into this, and it kind of has kind of shaped me and how I'm handle my daughter. You know, she decided to stay in basketball. Like, I don't know if we'll take the same route that we took with my son, but girls and boys are different regardless. But I think you know, you can really get lost in the sauce, and you can really invest a lot of money and stuff if you are going there with a certain expectation. So I think understanding the difference between the two when you're choosing it and when you're putting your kid in it, I think it will kind of help you along the way. But I don't think it's a right or wrong way to do anything. You know, as much as you can get your kid exposed, do that. And that it comes with a cost and a lot of time.
And so, and I feel like, honestly, it's worth it. I did it a lot with my, especially with Middle Georgia basketball, I'll say. We're still fighting for consistent respect, you know, from the media outlets. So shout out to Hype South and a lot of our outlets down here that help spread the word. But for the most part, a lot of our kids can be looked over. And I'm talking about the kids that are truly ready, right? They can be looked over. So I'm all for taking the kids out, letting them compete against new people, get in front of new people, because everything's about content and marketing now. I know my oldest nephew, Cameron, really benefited from it. He benefited from it more. He had the attitude to kind of showcase more. Christian was kind of later to the party. I think his last round of showcases did good for him. So it just depends on the kid. Like you said, you know, if you don't have that type of kid that's going to be able to come and kind of take over a gym on his own, or kind of used to hoop sessions, a showcase of just, they'll get swallowed up in it and they won't really be able to showcase themselves. But if you're doing the team camps right, make sure they're going to colleges that they possibly want to go to, even outside of basketball. That might be an opportunity for them to see the campus to get around those coaches. So you can be more intentional with those. But I think it's a good idea. So now let's get into this, and we'll start with Coach Boyd, because, you know, he's blazing the trail, doing a good job over there in middle school with middle school ball. Why is it important for middle school and high school coaches to be on the same page?
Easy transition from middle to high school. Me as a coach, man, I actually take pride in making the high school coach proud. You know what I'm saying? If I'm in the middle school, because I'm very interested in seeing, hey, let's see, can I get them ready to get to you? You know what I'm saying? I just think the most part is just the transition part. You know, you shouldn't have to. I don't think high school. I see a lot of high school coaches teaching stuff they shouldn't have to teach. It should be something that some of the stuff they should have learned in before middle school, and some of the stuff they should have learned in middle school. A lot of stuff we trying to teach kids when they get in high school, man. They get 9th, 10th grade before they pick up on a lot of the stuff. Just little small stuff. And if the middle school coaches get on the same page with the high school coaches, that'll be a very easy transition for the kids.
Coach T, how do you feel?
It's the same thing he said. Transition smoother transition or alignment with the expectations on what they'll have coming to high school. What you said earlier too, Coach Ray, about how you used to run the high school plays, and building better chemistry, and them kids will be knowledgeable of the high school coaching system. And then what Boyd said about not having to duplicate that foundational stuff. Then they can learn more advanced basketball stuff, and it won't take you 2 years wasting in high school. Not necessarily wasting, but stuff they should have learned before they got there. And then it just started rocking and rolling in 11th grade year, and they're halfway out the door then, you know. So shout out to my middle school, Feeder Middle School coach, Miss Crystal Hughes. We've been doing a lot of collaboration this summer. And I love her because she's just such a sponge, and it's just no pride there. We always bouncing ideas off each other, and just trying to get that right there, that going, trying to get on the same page. And that kind of protect your school, like the integrity, and it makes the middle school kids see your presence too as a high school coach, and they'll know whether they want to come to your school or not. So all those things, relationship building, culture, all of those things.
So in a perfect world, to be honest, and I know this impossible, but I think that there should be a travel team kind of for each side of town, or something like a summer team, because I know there's, from a middle school standpoint, I feel like middle school coaches are at a disadvantage. When a lot of these kids in middle school get to middle school, and this is like their first time playing basketball.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's evident in Monroe County. A lot of those girls, they like their first time playing basketball. They don't even know how to shoot a ball, dribble with a left hand, make a layup. And it's great that they're getting into basketball, but man, if you're just starting at 7th and 8th grade, it could be a grind. And I don't think the time allots itself for middle school coaches to do all of that, right? To get those kids ready. So kind of they're passing high school coaches product that may not be all the way developed. And now you're running into these teams up the road where these girls can play ball, top to bottom. So I think that's something from Middle Georgia, and I could be wrong. I know on the girls' side, we run into that a lot. Boys' side, probably too, depending on the program. But we have to figure out how to get more travel teams that are connected with the middle school teams and the high school teams, and just being on the same page. I know you can't get all the girls, but some kind of consistency should be there.
Let me tell you, when they become beautiful though too. My bad, Coach.
Go ahead.
Coach Ray, when you get a middle school girl who ain't been taught bad habits prior to, and that's their first time taught, and they taught the right way, that could be a beautiful thing. Getting it that late in the game, but the right way, and it makes that transition so smooth.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I think when it comes down, because you have a lot of it coming in middle school that hasn't played or don't know how to play. Because even a lot of times in the rec, they still not learning how to play basketball. So you got a lot of them coming in middle school, man. It's really about the passion of the middle school coach also. So if you got someone that got that passion, that they, like I said, I take pride in it, man. I don't care who I'm coaching, man. It can be 5 and 6 year old kids, man. I'm gonna take pride in it because I want to see them get better.
Mm-hmm.
So last year, when I took the job with over at Mount Seal, a lot of my kids haven't played, especially the year before that. That what a lot of people was telling me, saying, hey, man, a lot of these kids didn't even play the year before that. Even the ones that made the team didn't play. So I took pride in that to say, hey, man, we're gonna show them. I'm going to teach y'all, and I just need y'all to learn. Just do your job. Do your part. That's where the coaching come in there and say, and you go home at night and figure that out. How I want to do this, how I want to develop. How can I get them to listen and do this and do that? And we had a pretty good season last year just because of, that. And I had 3 8th graders. So I got a lot returning this year.
Mm-hmm.
Just buying in, getting them to buy in, and me just bringing the passion and say, hey, and I know I make my coaches, man, I probably make them mad sometimes. Cause I'm always, hey, man, let's do this. Hey, let's go in here Sunday. Hey, let's do this. Let's do that. just to get them better. Because I like to see kids just get better, man, if they want to do stuff. But I'm gonna do my job. I'm gonna do my part, and so I'm gonna go overboard with it. So, like I say, it's all about the passion, because we all know the development issue. So I'd be like, hey, okay, I know I got something coming up that I need to teach, and they don't know, so I'm gonna go a little overboard on summer workouts. So I got some that goes with the high school and they come out.
Now we have a comment on her board from Brandy Black about middle school coaches aren't experienced either. And I think that you got some high school coaches that aren't either. I think that from a leadership standpoint, and I guess this goes to athletic directors, we have to be creative with building the right team around our kids. And sometimes that may look different, right? Because I know there's certain rules and guidelines and coaches got to teach. That's fine. But that mix of community coaches can help fill some of those gaps. So, hey, say if I got a head man that's in place that may not have the experience, but I like them, I feel like they have the potential, right? Then I'm still going to have my hand on it to kind of help them build a staff or encourage them to build a staff with someone that may have experience. Maybe it's an older coach that retired and still just wants to be around ball. Maybe it is that community trainer. But we have to put the right people around our kids if we care about our kids. And I think that, I just seen certain scenarios where you can tell that leadership is just not very involved. Just like, there you go, have at it. And I don't think that's fair to the kids. I don't think that's fair to the kids. So we got to do our due diligence and making sure that we have the right people around these kids, teaching these kids, training these kids. Because some people can coach and they can't train, right? So, let's get somebody around them who can do the skill stuff. But and in middle school, maybe that's harder because everything's about budget. But I'm pretty sure there's some coaches out there just like you, boy, that are already doing it in the community that wouldn't mind pitching in a hand to help. We just have to be open for that to help the kids. It's about the kids, no ego. Just like you said, shout out to your middle school coach for pushing her pride to the side, working with you and getting all she can, and you pushing your pride to the side and taking back for her. That type of approach will help everybody. Because there's probably people in place that can help Boyd that are being pushed away. Yeah. Because they feel like you're going to come in and take over. And it should never be like that.
Just like you said, man, you got to get the right people. If you know it's somebody that can help, again, it is about having a pure heart. That's another problem that we have around here. If you know they got a pure heart and they can help you, man, then please get them in and get them involved a lot. Get them involved in your system. If it's at this, you start with the babies. You know what I'm saying? If you can get somebody, say, hey, man, I'm going to go start me a little, even with the little traveling stuff, that don't mean you have to go play the highest competition. They got traveling teams that start at 4th, 5th grade. You know what I'm saying? If you with it, it ain't about winning or losing. Let's go out here and, let's get them to play a little bit, show them the fundamentals. And that's it. You know what I'm saying? You can use the travel stuff to do that. If you can get on the same page with somebody, like you got some that's going into the middle schools, you got kids going into middle school, start them before they get into middle school. Yeah. But it's just about looking at the problem also. That's why I like coaching middle school, because I know that we got that development problem. So let me try, especially if I can get them early. Like I said, now I got some majority of mine, I'm gonna have my hands on them, because they were young. I wish I would have had a little of the ones that was in the 8th grade last.
Stay right there, boy. You just missing something. What do we feel like the biggest problem is holding Middle Georgia basketball back?
You said the biggest.
What's the biggest problem holding Middle Georgia basketball back in the current state of basketball? And when I say holding it back, to where you don't see maybe kids that are ready getting, the opportunities that kids from other areas may be getting, or just us being able to achieve things like state championships, team state championships and things of that nature. What do you think is holding us back? We got a comment. Somebody said ego. Shout out to Mooney.
He He took the E word right out of my mouth. That's one of the things that we starting from the jump.
Ego with the kids, ego with coaches.
Well, the ego gonna come from the grown folks at the children. So it starts with us.
Okay.
But if we looking at it, so let me understand you a little bit more. So we talking about the success that we're not having,
or how can we have more success? How can we get, how can we make sure our kids get all the looks, all the opportunities, and I don't want to say offers because it's not about offers, all the opportunities that other kids get in other areas, and then how can some of our teams get over that hump and win state championships and things in Middle Georgia?
I'm all about the foundation, man. It's all about starting early. I just think that when you look at the teams like, Coach T been successful and Coach Q been successful going to, back-to-back championships. Coach Wig, he was successful over with the football, and Westside's been successful. You have to look at what they're doing. That means that they're going overboard with a lot of stuff they're doing also because of what's going on in Middle Georgia from the early stages. Mm-hmm. Meaning that a lot of times, man, a lot of our kids are not ready when they should be. So I think that
you think it's development. So pretty much you're saying
definitely
development.
Because you got kids, and I know Coach T can vouch for me in this. I think that's a lot of times that she have to do it. Like I said earlier, I think she got to do a lot of stuff she don't have to do if we started early. Mm-hmm. That's room for something else. But she's still being successful even with the problems that we have. So imagine if we get rid of some of the problems that we can get rid of. Like far as, like I'm saying, starting early, getting our kids developing the right way, getting them around the right people who got the pure hearts to help the kids, and we can help each other as a village.
So I'm with you, boy, and I want everybody to make sure you understand we have experienced success. We just talked about one of our success stories this past week with Kawais Reeves Jr. And it's kids going to college left and right, different opportunities, kids playing pro ball across seas. But more success. How can we achieve more success? Coach T, what do you think?
You just can't waver. You just got to keep at it. You just got to keep trying to figure it out. Championships are very hard to come by, and you don't get them just by working in a year. You reach those levels by everything you don't do within the season. Mm-hmm. Like you said, when in the training, in the travel ball, in the private sessions, are you by yourself, looking at yourself as an individual or how you can contribute to the team. You got to have parents on the same page, your community behind you. Like it takes a lot of stuff, a lot of sacrificing, loyalty, staying with people, buy-in. It takes a lot. And I'm speaking from a coach and being a player of a team. But we were 4 points short of winning the championship, and every year we took a step 8-4-2. I don't every year after year. And what we had to do, we had to lace our shoes up, and we had to get back at it. You know what I'm saying? We you keep touching levels. You know what I'm saying? And then you got to see if you got what it takes to want to get back there. And that's what it is. Like I said, in healthiness takes a part of it. Taking y'all but to bed, eating right, like all of those things, and we try to pour it into these kids because we've been through this before, and they just gotta wanna do it. They gotta love you enough to love themselves enough to want to do it and believe that they can achieve it. So that's why I'm at with it. And like I said, I just try to, at the end of the day, you know, if when they leave here with a state championship or not, you know, I just want them to leave here my program a better person than they came. So that's my focus.
There's some people they're agreeing with you and board Coach T. Somebody said putting these athletes in the right hands, not people coaches only worrying about winning. We hit on that 2 weeks ago. Shout out to Daryl McNeil. If you got to chase a kid down to put work in, they don't really want it. And I will say a lot of times these kids these days, you can kind of question if they love it anymore. Because if you love something, you're going to put it first. So that can be a struggle with kids these days. But you just said something, Coach T, about the eating and things that, honestly, we don't have control of at this level, right? This isn't like a professional level where they got cooked. So I think when we present the goal of being champions, what does that championship culture look like? And we can end on this. What does it look like here as a team with us? What does it look like in the classroom? And what does it look like at home? And I think if we brought the parents in on this, like, okay, if all of us agree on the same page, we want our kids to be champions, this is what they should be doing at home. And honestly, that's where you're the coach, right? So if you want to coach everything, you're their nutritionist. Or you're the person that makes sure they stretch at night or in the morning, so forth and so on. All right. And then, you know, and then go to the classroom. Okay, that's where you're the coach at. Right. And so, and then that communication of reporting with them to make sure that's in place. And then you handle everything on the basketball side. Just that, I think if we get that together, maybe we can, you know, see more success. And I know it's on the way because we've been very close over these last years. Shout out to Coach Wiggins over at Northeast, what Coach Q did at Southwest. And a lot of teams been, Elite 8, Final 4. We had a couple teams right there at it. You know, I'm just so middle Georgia, man. I want to see us bring it home every time. Every time.
And you know what, Ray? I'm gonna say this publicly. Me and Coach Q talked so much on the phone, and man, what that is you doing? Man, what that is you doing? Like, we bad barring steal so much from each other. Like, and I used to get mad at my girls. Like, man, ain't no way Southwest boy running, you know, some of our stuff better than we do. Like that too. Like iron sharpens iron. Like I learned that when I went to a basketball clinic up in Atlanta. Like I go out there, them basketball coaches up there, 7A schools and stuff, Buford, all that. They willing to give you anything. Like, you know, you still gotta have the personnel to run it, but man, like help each other. Like it ain't no, you know, no big deal or whatever. Like people ain't trying to talk to you to steal your player. Like I know I've extended the olive branch many times, you know, and whether people take it or not, you know, it's up to them. But that's another thing I just wanted to mention. Like we really out here doing Coach Tad. You know what I'm saying? I go ask Coach KP, he was in the comment earlier. I go ask all them. Me and Coach Reed, we sit out all day and just, man, did you just see what the Atlanta Dream were running? Like all of those different things. So that's all I did want to just emphasize that point.
Okay. All right. So now we to a special segment. We're actually going to jump into Coach T's huddle. So what you got for us this week, Coach T?
All right. So on the huddle section this week, well, I'm just responsible for a note to the young women and then a quote to provide on the platform. I want to go into the topic of loyalty. We kind of talked about that. We've been talking about that a lot today. And just to give the definition, it's like a steadfast faithfulness and commitment to a person, an idea, a team, an institution, and or your country. Excuse me, my light is going out again. It combines emotional attachment with like a behavioral choice. You know what I'm saying? You could choose to be loyal or committed to something, or you can bounce. We kind of been talking about that all day. To my young women, I would like to say some people are not loyal to you. They are loyal to how you meet their needs. Okay. When their needs change, so there's their loyalty. I want you to let that marinate. And then my quote also surrounds loyalty. I said, you don't earn loyalty in a day. You earn loyalty day by day. Okay. And that concludes my segment on Coach T's Huddle, to inspire, to empower, and to elevate.
All right, so next up, y'all know we got Coach Boyd's clipboard. So what you got for us, Coach?
All right, on the clipboard today, man, I just wanted to really talk about developing our babies at a young. We pretty much been talking about pretty much all the show. I just want everybody to understand how important that is, man, for us to get our babies ready, man. Give me 1 second. Yeah. Anyway, 10 and under. I think that's a good good age, man. Kids that start coming to you saying they want to play ball. I know there's a lot of these kids playing rec. But I just wanted to give you 5 things that I think they should learn at this age. Dribble with both hands, but the main important thing is dribbling with your eyes up. We definitely got to teach them that. I'm tired of looking at high school kids looking at the ground when they dribble. If we started early, it wouldn't be a problem. We are creatures of habit, so we got to create good habits. So dribble with your eyes up and work on both hands, dribbling with both hands. Number 2, make a layup. Make a layup. Yes, get it, of course, with both hands, but at least make a layup. If we talking about 10U, 9U, 8U, 7U, make a layup. Number 3, defensive stance. Again, that's one of those little small things. When they get older, they don't know how to get in a defensive stance and they become poor defenders. Number 4 is one of my best one of my favorite. Basic passes. We pretty much got to go to a museum now to see a bounce pass. We don't even see bounce passes too much.
Oh man,
we got to listen. We gotta do bounce passes, chest passes, overhead passes. We can't have them at that young doing one hand passes and stuff like that. So basic passing. And number 5, moving without the basketball. Just show them how to move without the basketball. It don't take much. Team rules. If you are coaching, team rules. Make them run everywhere. I don't care they going to the bathroom, make them run. Talk on defense. Small stuff. High five. Congratulate your teammates. And high five them when they make mistakes. Never blame referees. There's some that start early and they keep doing it when they get older. Kill it early. Have fun and compete. I think that'll be good for our young kids. And another thing, I know a lot of people that coach rec. I know one of the problems they feel like they have is the time that they have when they coach, and I understand it. You got an hour to get stuff in. But at certain ages, man, if you got an hour a day and you practice in 2 days a week, work on your development, man, and take 30 minutes and work on that. And as the season go, you can put other stuff in. So like I said, it's all about who's for the kids and who's not. But hey, that's what I had on the clipboard today, man.
And the thing what Void is talking about is very, very important because, I just pulled up one of our top teams in Middle Georgia, and I'm not going to say the name, and I was just looking at their stats, and they shot 67% from the free throw line. 67%. 67%.
I know one of my team. Oh, power words.
Yeah, so and that's the thing, Coach T. I'm all about low hanging fruit, right? And we can want our kids to do all these grand things, dribble between their legs, and don't do all this. When if you really watch college basketball, nobody's doing that stuff. A lot of these top drafted players, a lot of these players that just experience a lot of success, that stuff is not going on anymore. The 3-and-D players are where it's at. It's only 1 or 2 players that even have the rope to do that. And it's still probably not on a winning team, but that's another conversation for another day. But something as simple as free throws, right? Yeah. Because I think everybody can agree on a free throw. And it's too many basketball goals around Middle Georgia, too many hoops. That's something that you can work on. There's no reason our kids should be shooting. No team around here should be shooting 67%. So if parents want to get involved and yell from the sidelines, yell yourself outside to make them shoot free throws. That's even 30 minutes. Just work, just working on, what is their process going to be? Whether it's 2 dribbles, lining it up, make sure everything's square. Whatever the process is, it's a million of them on YouTube for you to find. You can let them choose one they like because we know these kids like to be in charge, right? So I challenge you to help your kid work on their free throws. If you got a little hooper, no matter the age, make sure they're working on their free throws. Let them find a free throw routine on YouTube. Let them pick it. And then you just coach and kind of make sure they continue to do the same thing every time. Because these kids are going to grow up. They're going to be on somebody's high school team. And there's no reason that any team should be shooting 67% from the free throw line. It's
going to be up to them to win that game at the free throw line.
You know what it is, though? You know what the problem is, don't you? Mm-hmm. Free throw ain't a highlight.
It ain't a highlight. You just said something, bro. A free throw ain't a highlight.
You ain't going to see it. Well, some people do it, but it ain't a highlight to them. Like, oh, you made a game win. Man, listen, it can be the game-winning free throw, and the kids still wouldn't take that as a highlight.
Yeah, most importantly, though, that's something that the kid don't have to do with a coach or a trainer or nothing. That you can work on it for free.
Go out there and work on it.
Yeah.
What's crazy, man? I can tell you about, Coach, you remember we went to Savannah that year? Was that 2022? Went out there that summer. We went out and played down there. CJ, I had CJ and Nardo now. I think he was in the 8th grade. But anyway, we went down there and played. Matter of fact, it was the championship game, and they had a lot of it was a little tournament, a little small tournament we went down to. And we played a team in the championship, and it was a running clock. You know what they did though? Passed and cut. Wow. And we fouled them the whole game. Get what they did. I think they missed 2 free throws the whole game.
Oh, they whooped y'all. Yep.
They whooped. Listen.
We slow whipping too.
Every time they cut, we fouled them.
That's slow but whipping.
Huh?
I said they slow whooped y'all.
Listen, I'm looking like, and I'm standing up watching the clock go down because I'm like, you ain't missing no free throws. And I'm like, we'll go down. We may score every other possession. Yeah. These jokers, if they weren't scoring,
they was on the free throw line.
And everybody that went to the free throw line was making their free throws. Mm. Once we learn, and then that still takes us at an early age also. If we drill that in them at an early age, that free throws are important. See, that takes the red coaches and us middle school coaches also. Free throws are important. You got to shoot free throws. I shoot free throws after every offensive drill. Even if it's 2 of them. After every offensive drill, if I write my practice in like that, they shoot free throws.
Well, boy, I got something for you. Hold on, stop right there. So now it's up to us to make that a highlight. So whoever has the best free throw percentage, and maybe it's not even in the game, we have to champion them. Maybe even week over week. Mm-hmm. Because we have to be creative in creating the noise about the stuff we want the noise to be about. Because we know the stands isn't going to do it. The news isn't going to talk about who has the best free throw percentage. So we have to be very intentional about congratulating and celebrating the people that are doing that the best. Because I just looked up another one of our top teams, and it was 69%. So right now, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, Middle Georgia, we got a free throw problem.
About it, some like you said, they're one of the top teams, right?
Yeah, I just went to 2 of the top boys team. Coach T, she didn't say a number, but she told me hers wasn't that good.
Well, what I'm saying is, you got teams shooting like that, and they still beating people. So what the other problem with the other team?
Well, no, but see, here's the thing, and that's what I always talk about. We're beating people, and we've been beating people for years. I mean, we're not at the bottom of the barrel. We know there are certain regions that are way behind us basketball-wise. But we want what's best for our kids. You see what I'm saying? We want to always strive for the top. It's a lot of things that go into winning the championship. So I don't want to say that that's just the end-all, be-all, because, you know, sometimes the ball just got to bounce right. But for the things that we can control, I don't think we're doing those to the ability that we think that we are.
It can definitely make the night easier if you make your free throw. It can make
complain about a lot of stuff. And Coach T, they might complain about what Coach T doing. They might complain about what, but she ain't got nothing to do with your baby shooting free throw. Because that's something they can work on at home. You see what I'm saying? We have to, from a parent standpoint, I challenge the parents to focus on things that you truly can make an impact on. And as a parent, you can help your kid with free throws. You can't help your kid with everything else because you ain't got 5 kids at home to run the plays. But you can help your baby with free throws.
So what y'all think y'all percentage is shooting free throws now? Y'all. I'm talking about y'all.
You talking about individually?
85%. I think
me right now.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm easy 7 out of 10. Easy. That's just walking outside right now.
But they on 90 now.
Oh yeah, not walking outside right now is 7 out of 10. But you give me a couple days, you 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10.
Cole, what you got?
Give me a couple of days too. I'll be 100%.
100%.
Oh yeah.
If I get out there and play for a week, I'll probably be in the high 90s. But I know right now, just going out here now, like just 40 and ain't got no kind of what you call. I got you 80% at least. 85. I go 85. Hey, I can tell you
10, so you either 80 or 90.
85.
What you need? Half a shot, bro. You shooting 20 on?
I'm talking about scratch the net. I'm talking about straight Uncle Drew. I go straight out there like this. I win your free throw. You need me to shoot your technical fouls. I can shoot them right now to win the game.
I'm not missing 2 in a row, though. I'll tell you that. That won't happen. If I miss the first one, I'm definitely making the second. No matter what, you know, no matter how I shoot.
What you shooting for 3?
For 3?
I know Cole can shoot it now. Cole out there playing Call of Duty. That's where you get it from.
Yeah, I ain't in that. That one ain't gonna look too good right now, boy. I ain't getting off the grind.
I got a look. I jump half an inch. I ain't get a shot off.
Yeah, I leave it to my
nephew. I don't know about
creative.
If you leave me open though, I hit a couple.
I let Christian shoot the ball, but let me just stop looking at these. I just looked at another one of our top boys basketball team, and they ain't too far with it. It's almost look like 50%. Hold on, this can't be right.
Y'all, what y'all eat? Y'all eating
what
y'all eating leftovers or y'all cook something today? Ain't nobody cook now?
Well, I'm gonna see if my cousin Tim got some of that chicken that he cooked yesterday left over. He don't stay too far, so I'm gonna head around the corner.
That'd be the best, that leftover.
I had my food last night. I missed that opportunity up. Now I got little Chloe at home. She said she gonna cook today.
Oh, she cooking?
That's what she said.
So, man, this has been another fun-filled episode of Put Me In Coach Podcast. We're about to go work on these leftovers from this weekend. Shout out to everybody that took the challenge. I saw another comment about free throws and layups, and yes, we got a bunch of kids that are shooting threes that can't make layups and free throws. So that's our challenge this week. Get out there with your kids this week, shoot some free throws, work on those fundamentals, and we'll see you next week on Put Me In Coach Podcast.